If you had enough of your same old ways and ache in your belly every single day, well, you are not alone here. You're living in a circle of pain and fear, rinse and repeat year after year. Well, you are not alone here. I was in your shoes, same as you, stuck in the dark, a cloud around my heart. Someone threw me a rope, a ray of hope.
I guess my biggest question for you, to be honest with you, is what drew you to this crazy world of the song of your soul? What drew you into this engagement in the first place?
When I saw you live, the lyrics were like, holy crap, I've lived that, or I'm living that, or it was a wonderful reminder. It was landing like just beautiful.
I knew right away too. It was a connection that we had. So you were feeling you were hearing the songs. They were right in your field. They were swimming around in your, where you are in your life. The words were dancing in your head, and they were kind of banging around in your heart, and you just knew there was something deeper. And then I guess at some point I might have mentioned the song of your soul. I don't know if I mentioned it at the concert, or you just saw it later or something, or
you mentioned it at the concert, and then
okay.
We talked about it when you were on the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You talked about it when you were on the show, and I kept hearing and feeling, I want an anthem. I want an anthem, because music and I have always connected. I have a soundtrack to my healing that I have on Pandora and all those kind of things. But when you said it's, the song of your soul, my soul was like, yes, we want that. And I hadn't done a lot of work with male healers or coaches in this field. So I thought, what a great shift in perspective I could receive. And I can remember, like, the first session we had, you were like, this is fact finding, I'm gathering facts, and I thought, well, I really don't know how much to say, what not to say, and you're like, just talk. And I can remember you like asking, is the coaching like business related? Because apparently I think you're used to doing more business oriented things. And I was like, no, I'm here personally. I feel like I have some things I'm not seeing. I have some whatever. And I feel like you're the one that can shine light on it. And at the end of that session, you said 2 words to me, Gail and magic, or medicine. And like, what?
Yeah. Those words were on the tip of my tongue, and I knew there was I knew we had a container that it would have been okay to drop those on, because I know there were, for the listener who's listening to this, there was big energy around this, and
yes.
But I trusted you, you trusted me.
Yep. And
that's what created that, and I remember that space. But I mean, just to rewind a moment, I mean, I necessarily I would say I don't necessarily work with just like business people or whatever. I really lean more towards people who have a business of purpose and are very deeply on the path of working on themselves, because those two kind of go in. I don't care what business you're in, you're always, it's a spiritual practice. You could run a car dealership, it's a spiritual practice. But because I knew, you've got your podcast, you've got your healing work, and you're doing some, you're doing sort of a traditional job as well. And I was just trying to figure out, and I appreciated you letting me kind of dig into that, like, wait a minute, where are we landing here? And honestly, we're landing on all of it, because you, as anybody, you're the voice of your business, you're the energy of your business. And when you're good and you're lined up and you're aligned and you're powerful, then it shows up in the world, because ultimately I wanted to help to amplify what you're doing by helping you to open up some doors and panels that would bring more light out. So, yeah, so good. So that phrase landed on you after the first call. We jumped right on in.
Yes, we went right in.
Yep, we didn't waste any time. No beating around the bush. Let's just go right at it.
Yeah, we dove right in, and the next 3 was the same way. There, I felt like I was comfortable, and there was nothing that is untouchable. Anything that came to you, I trusted. Any words that came through you, I trusted. And anything you said I should put a little more energy in and focus on, I'm like, all right, there's something there, so let's dig. And it was, okay, so I felt like it was more of a personal approach, and when I got through it, because I know my whole goal in doing this work is to be the clearest vessel possible, so that I can do the work that I do, that I can, serve my purpose to the fullest of potential. And that's exactly what you gave me. That's exactly what you offer. And the space that you were able to hold for me, I haven't had a lot of men in my life that I could trust. And I feel like with you, the connection was just automatic. Like, we're old souls. We've traveled many lifetimes together. And in this lifetime, it just took me 56 years to find you.
Oh, my goodness. You're going to get me choked up. I love the work that we get to do together. And I want to say, I would just say for anybody that's listening to look up her work, because, and we'll put her link below, because she's doing some very powerful work. And without going into all the stories and everything, you come a long way. And that means that you come from a very rich place of experience. And we in the coaching world, we always talk about that it's not really a regulated field, because it's not therapy. It's not meant to be. And there's so many different flavors and different avenues and approaches that people take, healers, coaches, and that kind of thing. And most of them are born from work, from the work. And so just honoring that right back to you, because I've had a number of clients, and a lot of them are willing and all these things. And I was to say most people are pretty willing. Your willingness was off the charts. And that is so refreshing for somebody to work with you like that, to say, look, I'm getting this hit for this. And the way that you said that woman's name, I can tell there's a grief and there's a charge. And what do you think? And you're like, phew, yeah, there definitely is. And I know you unraveled that and did a bunch of work around it. So kudos to you and for anybody who's listening, when you have a willingness and a sense of wonder, that's a whole retreat that we do, from willingness to wonder. Those two words go together, and you embody both of those. You have willingness and you have a sense of wonder. And we did some cool things. You want to share anything about that with the people watching this, about some of the crazy projects that we as in you cooked up?
Well, little did I know, I had fears of being out in the world again. So when I first worked with Bob, that first session, I was like, I keep hearing I need to be out amongst the people, and I don't know what that means.
Out with the people. You said, I need to be out with the people. And I'm like, well, we'll get out with the people. So where did that land you?
It landed me in a coffee shop.
I can be a lighthouse shining on the shore. There is a way, and there is so much more. I can be a safe space for you to rest your bones. And every now and then we all need a friend who knows that the light on the
sign that said, what's on your heart? Sit down, let's talk about it, or we can sit in silence.
Oh.
So
that was a journey. That was a process. Yeah.
That was a process. Yeah. The first week I had my sign out, but I did not want to be seen or talked to. The internal dialogue that was going on was amazing. I was shocked by how much resistance I had to all of it. And week after week, by week 3, it evolved into coloring for connection. So now I go and I sit and I break out coloring books and I color, and I have had people reach out to me. So I have gone to specific locations so that I could connect with people and color with them. And it's been amazing. It's been fun. It went from something that as the week went on, because I do it on Fridays, and Friday would come closer, that first week, I damn near talked myself out of it, to now it's something that I look forward to.
Yeah. I just want to say for the folks listening, I remember the first call that we had, or not the first call, but the first conversation we had around when you said, yeah, I just need to be with the people. It's like COVID leftovers and just all this stuff. You were just like, I need to get back out in front of humans. And, and I'm like, well, like any good coach would offer, just some crazy ass thing for you to do. And you were like, okay, I'll do it. And then when you came back and reported, and I asked you these questions, I'm like, well, how many people sat down? And you were just like, well, not really anybody, and there was no shame in it. There was no judgment on yourself. Of course, not for me, but there was just this like, wonder why that is. Well, I wonder where, because you always look at the world, and you do, and I know many people aren't able to do this, is not blaming it on the world and not saying, well, yeah, nobody came over. They must have just been a bunch of curmudgeons that wouldn't sit down with. No, what about me? How was I showing up? And you're like, I was kind of shrunk over here. I wasn't looking at anyone. I was looking down. And I said, well, maybe next time. And I know you did this. You said, well, I said, maybe next time you look up. That's step one, look up. And what happened after you did that? I think that was like the second week, right?
Yeah, the second week. After that first week, you were funny because you said, turn the light on.
Oh, wait. Tell people about the lighthouse. Tell them about the lighthouse. Okay.
About lighthouses. And Bob and I have talked about that. And as I was sharing my experience of sitting there reading my book with my head down, praying nobody would talk to me, yet I wanted people to talk to me.
Come talk to me. Go away.
Exactly.
Come talk to me.
Go away.
I love you. Go away. Yeah.
So as I'm sharing this, and Bob and I are laughing, he said, so I challenge you to look up and turn the light on. And I was like, wow, okay. So that was something, because I still wasn't comfortable yet. There was still resistance. So when I went that next time, all I kept hearing was Bob saying, turn the light on, turn the light on. So I would look up and I would turn the light on and I would say, good morning. There was engagement. Did anybody sit down with me? No, but that's okay. I had my light on and people responded. After doing it a complete month and moving through those blockages that I had, I also realized that it wasn't just about connecting one-on-one with people. I kept hearing that I was anchoring the light. I was anchoring the highest frequency of light wherever I went. And, that was like who am I to do that kind of thing? So I had to move through that. But understanding that was a purpose, one part of what I was playing out there, it was really cool. It was very cool.
Your song, which I absolutely love that song. I wrote it, but I love the song because of what it means for you. You had originally came in, it's funny for everybody listening. This is, the song of your soul. It's this whole program I have where I write. Every soul has a song, and let's write yours is the tagline, and that's how this whole engagement started. But it's almost kind of like clockwork when I start to work with somebody on one of these. It's almost the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Just like, I haven't, go back to your notes, session 1. The word lighthouse was in the first couple of lines. You just did something, I don't know, I think I'm kind of maybe a lighthouse for people. Because, and here's the beautiful part, that I'm so touched with your story. And by the way, just to rewind, thank you so much for sharing that about not having worked with men before, and allowing me to be in that space with you, because I felt that, and I didn't feel any resistance. But some of the stories you had shared, I could see why you've had that. And part of my work on planet Earth is to continue to awaken myself to the divine masculine, the balanced masculine, and also inspire other men to do the same, because we've just been running on that old octane for too long, and it's just not working. So thank you for allowing us to have that container together, and thank you for presencing it here. But yeah, when you got that, you had that phrase about being a lighthouse, it's because for the energy that I feel from you is so much about like you're so grateful to your mentor, who was a lighthouse for you, that's what made you want to be a lighthouse for others. I mean, did I get that? I think it's in the song. So
That's it.
but can you talk just for a moment or two about your mentor? Because I'd like to get her in here. I'd like to bring her energy in.
It's funny because it was all very accidental. We think on the surface it's
Yeah. It's
meant to be.
Quinky dink. Yeah.
Exactly. I just met her. We're painting a kitchen together because our common friend of ours bought a salon. So
Can you mention her name, or is it sort of not?
I don't see why not. She's married now, but when I was working, her name's Heidi Williams.
Right. Yeah. I know her. I don't know her well, but I just know of her. Heidi Williams, and she's got a married name, but she has her own business with this, right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Total soul connection.
Okay. Maybe I'll put a link down below for people. Yeah.
But yeah, she was still taking classes. So as she's talking to me about it and telling me about the benefits, I have a sister that has chronic illness. So I thought maybe this could work for her. I knew I had to experience it before I could talk to her about it. So I went for my first session back in December of 2012. And when I left that room, I didn't know what the hell had happened, but I had hope for the first time in a very long time. Didn't realize that I was living my life numb. Looked around and thought, I have so many things in my life I should be happy about, and I feel nothing. So by the time I got home, I thought, I don't know what this is, but I need to know more. So I set up weekly appointments for the next 2.5 years. And in that time, I convinced her to teach me everything she knew. It's just such a gift.
So that was imparted on you. That was a gift imparted on you. And this idea, which your song ended up being called Lighthouse. And, but your gift is giving that back. That gift is giving it back. Now I want to pull up the lyrics because I want to make sure I get everything right, and I just want to sort of like go through some of these words with you to this is one of my favorite parts. So I've got your lyrics up. If you've had enough of your same old ways, an ache in your belly every single day, you are not alone. You're living in a circle of pain and fear, rinse and repeat year after year. You are not alone. I was in your shoes, same as you, stuck in the dark, a cloud around my heart. Someone threw a rope, a ray of hope, and I offer it to you. Now, that's perfect build up for the chorus, but talk to me a little bit about those lyrics. The ache in the belly, I think you used those exact words. I don't know if you used rinse and repeat, but I feel like you might have. I think that might have been my own interpretation. But so how did that land on you when you first heard those first couple of verses like that?
It landed like it just totally landed. It was funny because the first words made me laugh because you cleaned it up. You were like, what's your ideal client? I was like, somebody who's tired of their own bullshit.
Well, yeah, I could have put that.
and you made it much nicer.
If you had enough of your same old ways, if you had enough of your same old bullshit. Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't. Some words have to flow off your tongue as a songwriter. You can't. I threw steaming pile of shit in a song, so don't. It's not beyond me, but yeah. Anyway.
I just sent that song to a client. The one with the steaming pile of shit.
That reason. Yeah, I mean, look. So I cleaned up the first verse. You had a little bit of.
It was perfect because it's what I've told you. I was a PE teacher for 24 years. So by the time I had gone for this first Reiki session in 2012, I had already been teaching 21 years, 22 years. Yeah. So the more I learned, the clearer life got for me, the more I was able to turn and face my trauma and my shadows and work through them, the more I started to understand that kind of teaching wasn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
So, that first verse is perfect because that's what I was living through. And then it's like, boom, this is what you need to share with the world now.
Yeah. Well, you had said, I mean, that's why I threw in that rinse and repeat year after year. You had said in your own way, obviously, but just like there's you felt it for yourself. I felt it at different parts of my life, is that we are just kind of living the same year over and over again.
Yes.
And that is like, I mean, some people, they're okay with that, but I mean, life is an adventure. Life is an adventure, and we don't want to just rinse and repeat, do the same thing over year and year. And that was that wake up moment for you. Why am I doing this teaching? There's so many things I could be doing with my life. So
yeah, I talked to you a lot about living in autopilot.
You did.
Yeah, that's that rinse and repeat, because it's so true. And when you're living on autopilot, it's all based on prior experience. It's not that curiosity of trying something new.
Yeah,
and that's why I was stuck.
That autopilot. Yeah, I should have thrown that in there. I didn't have it in my notes, but I do remember you saying autopilot. And what you kept saying to me, and as a songwriter, when you put something in, it's a repeating line. Mm-hmm. It really stays with people. And there's a repeating line in this. You are not alone. You are not alone here, I think it says. Uh-huh. That you said that so many different times. You're like, I felt so alone, and I just want other people to know you're not alone. And you're not alone if you're living in this rinse and repeat. And you're also not alone if you know that there's something more and you just haven't found it yet. Mm-hmm. You're describing so many people on planet Earth that were just on this verge of like, there's something more to this. I haven't quite found it yet. You found it in Heidi. And you want to be that person for someone else. That's Judy Ford. That's what your work that you do, the lighthouse that you are now with your own anthem. And that's just a beautiful thing. I know that you're stepping more and more into this every day. But thank you for doing that, for sharing that, for going through all the stuff that you went through so that you would emerge as a lighthouse for others.
It's an honor. I'm so honored to do the work I do. I listen to the song daily. Mm-hmm. If I'm struggling, I put it on. Nice. When I'm driving, I play it on repeat. It's just, I think the words I used with you is, it's activating that cell memory within me. So every day I feel I'm aligning more and more with my divine blueprint, and I am serving my divine purpose.
Thank you for putting the entire purpose on this entire thing. That's what I'm trying to do. That's
you're doing it for me.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm doing this video, because I want other people to hear this. I want to hear people, well, like, what is it that you're doing now, Bob? And what tell me about your, so to try to explain it to someone when they walk by my table somewhere. Well, every song has a soul. Let's write yours. That's a good line. But the words that you just said, I just want them to land on me and everybody that's listening here, is that, the talk therapy and coaching and these things, they can really be helpful, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all, everything's useful. But the difference in what I'm doing here is that there is a song in your soul. Your words speak in metaphors, because when you get in a safe space and you start like with somebody that you trust, the words come out. And especially when you don't hide them and block them and perform, which you do not do, you begin to speak your truth. And all I'm doing is I'm just grabbing truth and putting it in a bucket over here. And then when it gets written into a song, and here's the irony of the whole thing, it becomes a lighthouse.
It really does.
These songs are meant to be celestial sonic guides for people who are in a moment, on a path, who work with me for a couple of weeks like you did, and we unpack and then we repack it into a song so that you can then carry it, and it takes you every single day on your journey. When you get a little bit, gotta get the song to get me back on that track. That's what this whole thing is meant to be, and that you embodied it with me. And I mean, like, what can I say? Thank you so much. I mean, what a beautiful journey it was. And out of this is going to hopefully, maybe just as we end up here, tell the folks what you are doing and how they can reach you and how they can connect with your work, because I want people on here to get some of your light.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I do a lot of things. I am a podcast co-host for Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Work Show, and Bob was on it. And I have my own business called Power by Your Soul, where judgment ends and love begins. That's my tagline.
Mm.
And that's where I do in-person energy work, as well as intuitive counseling. I'm a certified intuitive counselor, and I do my counseling via Zoom, but I also see in-person clients on the weekends. So I know it's my heart's calling. I lost my mother almost 30 years ago, and she used to tell me, I don't know what it is, Judy, but I think you're meant to do more in this life. And when I was introduced to this work, I knew this was the more she was talking about. So I'm so honored to do the work that I do, and for the people, the clients that trust me to sit with them and help guide them through this crazy thing we called life.
Thank you for sharing. It's very well articulated, and I think I'm guessing everybody that's watching this can feel that. But you are just such a gentle presence, just a benevolent. You have this benevolence about you that's just. I could see you sitting in a coffee shop, just people walking up and feeling safe in your presence, and feeling comfortable to sit and share. And your laughter is infectious, and your heart is pure.
And I also would like to share that the first version you sent me, I loved it. But then you went and sent me a second version where you altered some of the words and you changed the key. And it was funny. I didn't realize how much that can impact how you receive a song. That was something you did on your own. I was happy with what you sent me. So
I wasn't, but I mean, it was fine. But it didn't light me on fire. Whoa, what was that? I mean,
wow.
That's what I wanted. I wanted balloons, and I wanted that, and that's so funny. I don't even know what things happen on Zoom anymore. But it was just like I noticed. I mean, and that's part of the creative process is when you play something, you always walk away from it, come back, because you think, oh my gosh, I just wrote the biggest hit song in the world. You come back an hour later, you're like, not really. I would think I was tired. I think this is what I was. But with your song, I was in a space, and I knew it was. I didn't change the chords at all. I just moved the key up, and it just landed. And I slowed it down because you kept saying anthem, and I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, anthems can be defined as one thing or another, but your song is kind of a power ballad kind of feeling. But I don't know, anthem, I don't know, it's all just kind of a sliding scale. Now I wonder which one I have here. I want to make sure I get the right one. No, you're making me nervous. Like, no, I don't want to play the first one. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's give it a listen. Let's see if this even comes through. You hearing it okay?
You had enough of your same old ways and ache in your belly every single day. Well, you are now alone here. You're living in a circle of pain and fear, rinse and repeat year after year. Well, you are now alone here. I was in your shoes, same as you. Stuck in the dark, a cloud around my heart. Someone threw me a ray of hope, and I offer it to you. I can be a lighthouse, shining in the rain. There is a path, will you let me point the way? I can be a safe space for you to rest your bones. Every now and then we all need a friend who's been where we are.
It's so cool to just watch you listening.
When you're watching the hands of time go by, wondering where your purpose lies, well, you are now alone here. In a world that's fast asleep, you're swimming at the surface, but you wanna go deep. Well, you your shoes, same as you. Spinning my wheels, nothing seemed real. Someone threw a rope, a ray of hope, and I offer it to you. I can be a lighthouse, shining on the shore. There is a way, and there is so much more. I can be a safe space for you to rest your bones. And every now and then, we all need a friend who knows that the light on the horizon might seem so far away. It slowly comes into your view on your darkest day. There are souls who have been where you are, and never are you alone. We're all here to walk each other. When you finally see a new way to be, you can't go back and you can't unsee. You are not alone here. When the people in your circle quickly fade, a reflection of the changes you made, you are not alone here. I'll be your lighthouse, shining in the rain. There is a path, would you let me point the way?
Oop. Well, it was almost done, but my phone always cuts off the last 10 seconds of these things. How was that last line? I wanted to ask you just how that last line hit you as far as the darkest day, because that was the seminal moment in your life that you just said enough.
Yeah.
And can you share a little bit about that?
I mean, you beautifully captured everything that guided me to do the work that I'm doing.
Mm.
And when I heard that line, it was like it was so true. And the light was there, and I didn't even know that I needed it. That was the biggest thing. Is that it was dark, but there was a glimmer of light. And just saying yes to taking a step in the direction of the light is what got me to where I am today. And that's why wherever you are in life, whatever it is you're dealing with, you're not alone, and there's a way. There's always a way. And Bob and I both, I'm going to say Bob and I, it's, the way is to go within, because you're the only one with the answers. It's not like I have a cookie cutter process that you can use. It's about building that relationship with you again. And I think your song says it beautifully. That's what I want to do. I want to empower people. And I feel like this song really got that point across. It doesn't matter where you are in life.
Yeah.
And if you allow me the honor, I would gladly help facilitate and guide you along the way, so you can find your own light again.
Yeah. Well, the comment that you said was, we all know that the work is to go within. True. And I 100% agree with that. And the thing that you actually taught me was, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Well, thank you.
You really did. That was a big part of a lot of your steps on your journey is there was a hand and you're like, I'll take that hand. For many years you didn't. You just pushed it away, which many of us do because we're not ready for it, or we just don't even know what it feels like to be helped and nurtured and cared for and shown, look over that way. So you taught me that, and it ended up in the song. It's just because your voice is now saying, you went from a person that was, at least the impression I got from the few hours that I spent with you on these calls is that you were kind of quiet and you were kind of reserved and you didn't speak up a whole lot. And now you've stepped into this person who says, I know you're not alone. And let me be a lighthouse. I'm not going to try to change you, but just let me shine something. As Ram Dass says, we're all walking each other home. I had to throw that in there, but that is a beautiful, that's a beautiful use of a life. I just hope everybody can hear this about you. That is a beautiful use of a life. Who's someone who had, and look, this show here, this interview is not about illuminating all those shit you went through. It's illuminating that you did go through the shit. And just as a listener is just tuning in, it wasn't easy stuff. It was pretty difficult stuff. And when you walk through that, you can't go around what you got to go through. You went through it. You found a lighthouse. It helped you go inward and do your own work. And now you're shining that back out in the world. That's good use of a life. What's the measure of a life well done? Right there. That's it. You can almost measure that stuff. So thank you so much for not only for just showing up on Earth as the human that you are, but for dropping into my world, for coming to that concert. I want to thank Christine Closer for introducing us, for inviting you to the events. And shout out to Heidi for doing all her great work, for being the lighthouse that she is, and continue to just keep shining that light. And thank you so much for helping me to explain to the world what it is I'm doing with this Song of Your Soul, and for being a great participant in it. And it was such an honor to work with you, and so much love, so much gratitude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for using your talent to help ignite and illuminate the soul. I mean, when it's called the perfect thing, because that's exactly what it is.
I hear you. That's got some legs too. There's so many ways to name this, but it is. I'm just trying to shine the spotlight on the parts of the soul that are there, that are useful and can be helpful to humanity. So you're absolutely right. Thank you for that.
Music helps bypass the ego.
Yes, it does. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Blessings.